Hey, what's going on everybody, and welcome back to Toy Picker Infinity's channel. And I'm rolling along here on some more robot reviews and continuing to do the rare ones first. Hopefully I will try to get through the entire Godaikin collection from Series 1 through Series 3. But I've started out with the rare ones first just because there's no videos on a few of the rare ones, like my Changeman and Machine Man, and this one I'm doing now is Daileon. Most of the videos that are out there right now are in Japanese because that's really where the toys came from. So I've decided to bust out and do all the rare ones first before moving on to the more common ones most people know. So let's jump right in here. This is the Popy version of Daileon. Daileon also came in a Godaikin version. It comes in a gray box, much like my Machine Man box. If you take a look at my Machine Man video, you can look at the box. It's a gray box with Godaikin forces on it, and then it has Daileon packaged in a window on the or packaged in a coffin on the inside. Styrofoam coffin, as a lot of us robot collectors like to call, because many of these Chogokin diecast style robots came in all packed in styrofoam inside the box. But this is the Popy version from Japan, and this toy was probably along the last lines that Popy or Godaikin released of the original diecast robots before moving into the Power Rangers and really focusing on the Power Rangers. Of course, as I said in my other videos, in Japan the Power Rangers are known as Super Sentai, and Daileon wasn't really one of the Super Sentai robots, though he kind of followed the same pattern. It actually comes from Juspion. Juspion was a Japanese show, and Daileon, which is the Daileon ship, happens to be the hero Juspion, who on the box you can see Juspion in the little right lower corner. That's Juspion there, and he kind of has a full armored suit. And this is his big ship that actually turns into a robot. So when Juspion can't handle things on his own, he jumps into his jet or his tank and uses his jet or his tank to fight. But if things get really, really bad, he's got to go to the big giant robot and come out and kick some butt. So this is the Popy version of Daileon. So let's get right in. I already have it sitting in the ship mode because kind of from robot to ship, it's a little difficult to transform. And you really have to be careful with it because there's a lot of chrome on the legs, and you can really scrape up the chrome if you aren't paying attention. But this is the ship. It looks just like a big galactic carrier, maybe even something out of like Battlestar Galactica. It kind of has some of the same style and design as some of the vessels that you would see in the opening of the original Battlestar Galactica. And of course this toy was made a lot later. This toy was made in I think 1985, 1986, right in there. And also when they made it in the Godaikin line, it was one of the last robots also to come over, just like Changeman or Machine Man in the Shuttle Base. It was one of the last robots to come over. So there aren't very many of those in a Godaikin box, and there's not very many of them in the Popy box because, again, this was kind of the last of these giant robots that were made. So this is the box, and it's all in Japanese, very stylized. Here's Juspion right down here, and he is the character of the show who jumps into this big giant ship and can go around the galaxy killing all the big giant monsters and anybody else who wants to try to destroy Earth. And again, as a lot of us robot collectors like to say, it comes in a styrofoam coffin. And this really does come in a styrofoam coffin. It has a styrofoam casing with a lid over the top, and that's where the robot sits, and then all the accessories. So this version of mine is another one that's pretty much near mint. I have opened everything, though. This is the package. It comes with extra fists. It comes with the extra fists, and then it has, I believe, 3 tanks and 3 jets that all go in here. And then it comes with a set of decals, and I've never put on the extra set of decals. This toy has enough decals on its own that came from the factory, so I've just never really put on the extra set of decals, but here they are. And then these are the instructions to tell you how to transform it, of course, and they're all in Japanese. But let me set those aside. And before I move it to the robot, I'm going to go ahead and show you the only missile launching type features that are on this are the fists. All of these old die-cast robots have launching fists, of course, because that's one of the cool things about it. But this actually launches cars and the tanks out of the nose. So inside the nose, it flips open, and on the bottom here, there's a little lever that slides it back and slides the spring load mechanism back. And then you can stick the tank or the ship in here and close it up. And then when he's ready to launch out into his jet or one of his tanks, you can push the little head, the little top of the bridge right here, and there goes the jet, goes flying across the room. It's okay, I'll pick it up in a few minutes. But that is really the only missile launching feature. It doesn't come with any other missile launchers or anything like that. So let's transform into the robot so you can see what this sucker looks like. So on the legs, there's these two buttons on each side. A lot of people that have this, they just grab it and try to yank it down. You don't want to do that because once I pull this out, you'll see the legs are completely chrome. So you want to push the button in, and you have to push it a couple times to get the slide all the way down. And then it pivots around, and you want to lift up the back end like that. And then the arms come on out. You close the doors, unfold the fists, pull the arms down. You got to open these back pieces. One thing you want to forget, always open the back piece, because if you don't, you try to fold this, you can break those little doors right off because they're not very stable or anything like that. So you flip the back down, close the doors, and you turn them around, and bam, there he is, Daileon. So like I said, he doesn't have any other missile launching features besides launching the cars, and then of course launching fists. All of these old die-cast robots have launching fists, which is one of the cool things. So you can do the power fist attack and knock things over, or shoot your little brother or sister with them, if they're bothering you. Not that I really want anybody to do that, but it's kind of fun. But this is Daileon. Daileon actually has some good articulation in his shoulders and arms. His arms and shoulders rotate. His head even turns, which is really unusual for any of these older die-cast robots. And then his knees bend. So you can actually kind of pose Daileon just a little bit compared to a lot of the other giant robots that don't really pose that much. Their arms and shoulders move. But Daileon here, he actually can kind of move around. So he's kind of cool, but this is all he comes with. In robot mode, he operates just like Juspion. Juspion is a martial artist and uses all sorts of martial art attacks. So that's pretty much what the giant robot does. The giant robot, instead of whipping out a sword or a spear or any saw blades or anything like that, he just lays the beat down on whoever is attacking Earth or whoever's trying to get Juspion. Daileon just lays the beat down with his fists and his legs and takes care of business. But yes, this review is just a little short, but there's not much to this guy. This is pretty much it. So I hope you enjoyed Daileon. Very simple, but very cool, and it's actually pretty heavy. All the legs in here are all die cast. And again, they're all chrome, so you have to be really careful with the chrome legs. But there he is. There is Daileon, one of the last Popy and Godaikin robots made. So if you have any questions or comments, leave them in the window below. And I hope you have a good rest of the day. Thanks very much.